What if everything you're chasing is already on its way to you, but you're the one blocking it? You only lose what you cling to. Buddha. In a world obsessed with hustle, control, and instant results, we forget the quiet truth. The universe doesn't respond to effort alone. It responds to energy. Right now, you're being tested, not by chaos, but by your own resistance. Ask yourself, how much peace are you trading for progress that never comes? This video will challenge the way you think about effort, timing, and control. It'll show you how Buddhist wisdom holds the key to getting everything you deserve by doing less, not more. You'll discover the unseen reason why life feels so heavy and what happens when you finally let go. If you're going to get anything out of this video, just get this. You don't have to chase what's already yours. That's all you need to know in life. And stay till the end. There's a powerful bonus lesson waiting for you. Number 1. Let go like the sky releases the storm. What if the only thing standing between you and peace is your need to control everything? There's a lesson whispered in the silence after a storm, when the clouds clear and the sky returns to stillness as if nothing ever happened. It doesn't cling to the thunder. It doesn't replay the lightning. It simply lets go. Like the sky releases the storm, you too must learn to release control to allow life to unfold without resistance. Because here's a truth few dare to confront. The tighter you grip, the more you suffer. Most people spend their days chasing outcomes, micromanaging timelines, anxiously scripting every detail of their future. They call it ambition, but often it's fear in disguise. The fear of losing control, the fear of not being enough unless they prove it, the fear that if they let go, everything will fall apart. But Buddhism teaches the opposite. Attachment is the origin, the root of suffering. Hence, it is the cause of suffering. When you fight reality, you create inner conflict. You burn out. You feel like you're pushing boulders uphill day after day while peace slips further away. But when you surrender, not in weakness, but in wisdom, you begin to trust the natural rhythm of your life. You begin to flow with the current instead of against it. Ask yourself now, what am I trying to control that no longer serves me? Is it a job title, a relationship, a version of yourself you outgrew? Can you let it go like the sky lets go of the rain? Because peace isn't something you chase. It's something you make space for. Consider this. The river doesn't force its way to the ocean. It trusts the path. You don't make the river flow. You let it carry you. What if your dreams are already on their way, but your anxiety keeps blocking the door? What if calm, clarity, and everything you truly deserve arrive the moment you stop trying to force the outcome? There was once a man who stood every day by a locked door, pounding, screaming, demanding it open. Years passed. He wore himself thin. One day, exhausted, he collapsed beside it. And then, he noticed another door had been opened behind him all along. That is the cost of control. It blinds you to what's already unfolding for your highest good. Can you allow things to be as they are without labeling them as good or bad? That is the essence of mindful surrender. You don't abandon responsibility. You abandon resistance. You do your part, and then you trust. You plant the seed, but you don't scream at the soil. So breathe, loosen your grip. Let the storm pass without trying to catch the rain. Because the calm you seek is already within you. It's just buried under layers of control, fear, and expectation. At the end of the day, the universe doesn't need you to push harder. It needs you to trust deeper. You become what you believe. Heal your inner resistance, and your outer world will align. 2. Observe your mind like a still lake. Watches the moon. When was the last time you truly watched your thoughts without chasing them, fearing them, or drowning in them? Most of us live trapped in our own minds. We don't even realize it. Thoughts arise and we run after them. Worries surface and we grip them like lifelines. But Buddhist wisdom offers a different way, a quieter, deeper way. Imagine a still lake on a full moon night. The surface, untouched by wind, reflects the moon in perfect clarity. That's what your mind can become. Still, undisturbed, reflective of truth, but only if you learn to observe instead of react. In the rush of modern life, your mind becomes turbulent, tossed by deadlines, fears, and distractions. You might be chasing a promotion, comparing yourself online, doubting if you're enough. But what if you paused? What if you stopped fighting your thoughts and simply observed them? Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. That's not just a quote, it's a lifeline. Calm isn't about fixing every thought. It's about watching them drift by without being pulled under. When a thought arises, I'm not doing enough. What if I fail? They don't understand me. Don't wrestle it. Watch it. Sit with it like a still lake cradling the moon. You'll notice the thought passes, and you remain. This is the practice of mental clarity, and clarity is freedom. Because when you watch your thoughts without judgment, you begin to see their patterns. You see how many are not yours, but echoes of the past, voices of fear, borrowed opinions. Each moment you observe without reacting, you weaken their power. Ask yourself, am I watching my thoughts, or am I drowning in them? There was once a monk who told his student, "You are not the clouds. You are the sky that watches." At first, the student didn't understand. He kept chasing happiness, pushing away discomfort. One morning, during meditation, he simply sat. No judgment, no effort, just silence. And in that stillness, he saw the truth. Thoughts passed like clouds. Emotions rose and fell like waves. But his awareness remained unshaken. For the first time, he wasn't lost in his mind. He was free from it. You can have this too. All it takes is a few minutes a day. Sit in silence. Let the thoughts come. Don't hold them. Don't push them away. Just watch. Like leaves floating down a stream. Like the sky, watching the weather pass. The more you do this, the less control your thoughts have over you. And in that space, between awareness and reaction, peace is born. Let this be your daily ritual. Not to escape the world, but to meet it with a calmer mind. The storm may still rage around you, but within, you become like the still lake, reflecting life as it is, without distortion. You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness that sees them. And in that awareness, the universe delivers not what you force, but what you are ready to receive. 3. Align your energy like a compass finds north. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract peace, clarity, and opportunity, while others stay stuck in cycles of chaos, no matter how hard they try? The truth is, the universe doesn't respond to what you say. It responds to who you are. It responds to the energy you carry. Just like a compass always finds true north when left undisturbed, your life begins to align when your inner world is calm, centered, and still. But in a world that constantly pulls you in 1,000 directions, how do you return to that magnetic stillness? Too often, we live on edge, rushing from task to task, reacting to every message, carrying silent stress in our chest. We say we want peace, but we broadcast worry. We say we want abundance, but we vibrate with lack. Here's what Buddhism reminds us. What you think, you become. What you feel, you attract. What you imagine, you create. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. Imagine your energy like a signal you send out every day. Are you sending fear or faith? Chaos or calm? Scarcity or gratitude? Because life mirrors your state. If your inner world is cluttered with complaint, resentment, or resistance, the external world can't help but reflect it back to you. But when you pause, when you choose calm over chaos, when you align with gratitude instead of anxiety, something shifts. Ask yourself honestly, what energy am I broadcasting into the world right now? There was once a man who kept planting seeds, but nothing would grow. Frustrated, he blamed the weather, the soil, the seasons. Until one day, a wise teacher asked, "Have you checked the ground of your mind?" The man was confused. The teacher explained, "You plant with your actions, but you harvest from your vibration. What you water grows." That day, the man began a new ritual, not of striving harder, but of sitting in silence, aligning his heart and cultivating peace. Slowly, his life began to bloom. That's how energy works. It's not magic, it's resonance. When you align your energy, when you hold stillness within, what you need starts finding you. The right people show up. Opportunities feel effortless. Not because the universe suddenly favors you, but because you've finally tuned into its frequency. You don't need to force your way through life. You need to feel your way into alignment. This begins with small choices. Gratitude instead of grumbling, deep breaths instead of instant reactions, presence instead of projection. And most importantly, choosing inner calm when the world gives you every reason to panic. Start today. Sit quietly, even if just for 5 minutes. Place your hand over your heart and ask, "Am I vibrating with the energy of what I wish to receive?" If not, adjust. Return to your breath. Remember who you are beneath the noise. Because when your energy aligns like a compass finding north, life begins to organize around your peace. The universe doesn't rush, it aligns. And when you do too, what you deserve begins to find its way to you, without force, without fear. Just flow. 4. Trust the river even when you can't see the ocean. Have you ever stood at a crossroads, overwhelmed by not knowing what comes next? That hollow uncertainty, that voice inside whispering, "What if it doesn't work out?" It paralyzes the best of us. But there's a quiet wisdom in nature that holds the answer. A river never panics. It doesn't need to see the ocean to know it's coming. It simply flows, unhurried, unwavering, certain. You too are a river. You don't have to see the destination to keep moving forward. Modern life glorifies control. We plan, predict, calculate, and obsess over every possible outcome. We're told that certainty is strength, that we must know before we act. But Buddhism offers another way, an ancient path that invites trust over tension, surrender over struggle. Let go of the need to control outcomes. The universe knows the way. Not knowing isn't weakness, it's faith. And faith is a kind of freedom. Think about how much energy you spend trying to force results, trying to control how people see you, how your future unfolds, how fast your dreams arrive. That effort often leads to burnout, anxiety, and a haunting sense of being behind. But what if you stopped demanding guarantees? What if peace doesn't come from certainty, but from trust? Ask yourself, what would I do differently if I fully trusted the process of life? Would you move with more courage? Would you rest without guilt? Would you finally let go of what no longer serves you? There was once a woman who planted a bamboo seed. For years, nothing grew. No sprouts, no signs, only silence. People mocked her, told her to give up, but she kept watering. In the 5th year, The bamboo suddenly shot up, 80 feet in just weeks. What was happening all that time? Quiet preparation, root building, alignment beneath the surface. Her only job was to trust the process and continue nurturing the unseen. Life often works the same way. When nothing seems to be happening, everything is actually falling into place. But your mind, addicted to proof, can't see it. That's where calm comes in. Not passive waiting, but powerful surrender. You act, but don't obsess. You work, but don't cling. You trust, not because you know the outcome, but because you've aligned with the flow. To live in surrender is not to give up. It's to give over to the current, to the wisdom of timing, to the idea that your life has a rhythm beyond what the eye can see. That's when true calm is born. Not from everything going right, but from trusting even when it doesn't. Start small. Take the next step, not because you're certain, but because you're faithful. Replace worry with wonder. Replace obsession with openness. And when the path looks foggy, remember, the river doesn't need a map. It simply flows. And still, it reaches the ocean. The universe is not asking you to predict. It's asking you to trust. Stay calm. Flow forward. Because what's meant for you isn't found through force. It's delivered through faith. 5. Be empty like the bamboo to be filled by the wind. Sometimes the reason you feel so stuck isn't because life is holding you back. It's because you're holding on too tightly. Holding on to outcomes, to identities, to expectations that were never yours to begin with. Like a closed fist trying to grasp the wind, the more you clench, the more peace slips away. But look at the bamboo, strong yet hollow. It bends in storms but never breaks. It is empty, not weak, open, not needy. And because of that openness, it flows with the wind instead of resisting it. Buddhism teaches that real strength is not about how much you carry, but how much you're willing to release. In the end, only 3 things matter: how much you loved, how gently you lived, and how gracefully you let go of things not meant for you. But most of us don't live that way. We chase more, we grip harder, we tell ourselves that we can't rest until everything falls into place. But that pressure, that attachment, is what creates the very suffering we try to avoid. Ask yourself now, what beliefs or desires am I gripping too tightly? Is it the need to prove your worth? The idea that success must look a certain way? The fear that if you stop pushing, everything will fall apart? These thoughts aren't just mental noise, they are weight. And carrying them keeps you from receiving what is truly meant for you. There's a story of a student who came to a wise monk desperate for clarity. The student spoke endlessly about his problems, his plans, his pain. Finally, the monk began to pour tea into a cup. He poured and poured until it spilled over. The student shouted, "It's overflowing." The monk replied, "Exactly. You are like this cup, so full of your own opinions, fears, and expectations, there's no room for anything new. Empty your cup." This is the path of detachment, not rejecting life, but clearing the noise that prevents you from fully living it. It means choosing stillness over obsession, allowing space instead of filling every silence with worry. It's understanding that needing nothing opens the door to everything. When you are empty like the bamboo, the universe can finally move through you. Letting go isn't weakness, it's trust. Trust that what falls away wasn't yours to keep, and what is truly meant for you will arrive, not through control, but through alignment. So start clearing the clutter, let go of relationships that drain you, release outcomes that no longer align, drop the pressure to always be doing more, create space for joy, for clarity, for truth. Practice detachment in small ways. Leave a conversation without needing to be right. Sit in silence without reaching for your phone. Watch a thought pass by without attaching a story to it. In that space, you'll find peace, the kind that doesn't depend on circumstances, but arises naturally when you stop resisting the flow of life. Like bamboo, become empty, not because you lack, but because you trust. The less you cling, the more the universe can fill you. And what it offers is always greater than what you were holding on to. 6. Let stillness be your thunder. We live in a world that fears silence. Every moment is filled with alerts, with noise, with the urge to speak, scroll, or react. But what if the answers you seek aren't hiding in more motion, but in stillness? Stillness is not emptiness. It is not weakness. It's the thunder beneath the surface, the force that shapes mountains quietly. Silence is an empty space. Space is the home of the awakened mind. In that space, your real power begins. Burnout doesn't just come from doing too much. It comes from being too disconnected. Disconnected from your breath, your purpose, your truth. You move fast, hoping speed will lead to clarity, but it never does. Clarity doesn't come from frantic motion. It comes when the dust settles, and it only settles in stillness. Think about it. A muddy river doesn't clear when you stir it. It clears when it's still. The same is true for your mind. You say you're lost, uncertain, overwhelmed. But ask yourself this: what do I avoid by filling every silence with noise? Often, it's the fear of hearing what's real. Because in silence, you meet yourself, and that's where transformation begins. There's a Zen story of a warrior who sought enlightenment. He asked the master, "What is truth?" The master said nothing. Minutes passed. The silence grew uncomfortable. The warrior repeated the question louder. Still, the master stayed silent. Just as the warrior turned to leave in frustration, the master said, "Now you're ready to listen." Stillness was the answer all along. This is not about sitting in a cave for years. It's about moments, intentional pauses, 5 conscious breaths before you respond, a silent walk without your phone, a morning without rushing to check notifications. These small stillness practices don't make you less productive. They make you more aligned. From that alignment, your energy becomes focused, your decisions clearer, your presence magnetic. Stillness is not the absence of sound. It's the presence of awareness. It's when you stop chasing, stop performing, and finally listen. And what you hear may not be a voice, but a knowing. The kind of deep inner certainty that no validation can offer. That's when you begin to trust the flow. When you stop pushing for answers and instead allow them to arrive. Your power doesn't lie in how loud you are, but in how centered you can remain when the world is loud. This is what Buddhists knew, that the calmest presence often holds the most unshakable strength. Because calm isn't passivity, it's mastery. So today, don't just seek quiet moments, honor them. Step into silence, not with impatience, but with curiosity. Let stillness speak louder than your fears. Let it show you what you've been too busy to see. In that silence, you'll find wisdom. In that stillness, you'll remember your truth. Let stillness be your thunder. Move with calm. Speak with presence. Act from center. And in that sacred space between noise and awareness, the universe delivers what you were always meant to receive. 7. Heal the inner mirror to reflect a brighter world. When you look into a mirror covered in dust, what do you see? A distorted reflection. Shadows where there should be light. That's what happens when you carry wounds within. Your world begins to reflect your pain instead of your potential. The universe is not separate from you. It responds to the vibration of your inner world. You cannot travel the path until you have become the path itself. That's the wisdom Buddhism offers us, not to chase peace externally, but to become the very peace we seek. So many of us try to control the outside, relationships, careers, even timing, without ever addressing the beliefs we hold inside. We say we want abundance, but secretly believe we're not worthy of it. We long for calm, but feed our minds with chaos. We demand love, but don't give it to ourselves. The truth is, you cannot receive what you don't believe you deserve. That's why healing your inner mirror is not a luxury. It's the starting point of transformation. There was once a woman who spent years trying to fix everything around her, her job, her partner, her finances. Nothing seemed to stick. One day, exhausted, she sat in meditation and asked, "Why isn't anything working?" A quiet voice inside whispered back, "Because you still think you're broken." That moment cracked her open. She realized it was not the world that needed changing. It was her relationship with herself. Healing didn't begin with effort. It began with acceptance. Ask yourself honestly, what do I believe I deserve? And is that belief helping or hurting me? If your inner dialogue is rooted in lack, guilt, or fear, no outer achievement will ever be enough. You'll always be chasing, never arriving. But when you begin affirming, "I am already enough, I trust life's flow," you shift the frequency of your life. You become magnetic, because now the universe sees in you what you finally see in yourself: wholeness. Healing the inner mirror isn't about perfection. It's about presence, about watching your thoughts with compassion, catching the inner critic when it speaks too harshly, and replacing it with gentleness. It's journaling, meditating, sitting with yourself, not to fix, but to listen. It's waking up and choosing self-kindness before the world has a chance to shake your spirit. Don't wait for the world to validate your worth. Decide it now. Because when your inner mirror is clear, you begin to see opportunities, love, and peace that were always there, but blocked by belief. That's when synchronicities appear. That's when people respond differently. That's when you stop chasing and start receiving. And the beauty is, you don't have to wait until you're fully healed to begin. You just have to begin. Begin treating yourself like someone worthy of all you desire. Begin showing up with calm, trust, and a deep knowing that you are supported. Begin seeing the world not as it is, but as a reflection of who you're becoming. You become what you believe. Heal the inner mirror, and the outer world will reflect your light back to you, not someday, but now. 8. Think lightly like a feather rests on water. Sometimes the heaviness we carry isn't real. It's imagined. Thoughts that swirl endlessly, scenarios that haven't happened, outcomes we try to predict or control. We get caught in the storm of what ifs and what nexts, and forget to ask the only question that matters: what is real right now? Buddhism teaches us that a light mind is a free mind. Drop by drop is the water pot filled. Just as a feather rests lightly on the surface of water without sinking, your thoughts too must learn to rest, not drown. Lightness is not carelessness, it's clarity. You weren't meant to carry the weight of everything at once, but overthinking convinces you otherwise. It tricks you into believing that if you analyze enough, worry enough, plan enough, somehow you'll be safe. But has that ever really worked? The more you try to think your way into peace, the more tangled you become. Because peace isn't found in mental gymnastics, it's found in surrender. There's a story of a man who spent every night worrying about a bridge he'd have to cross in the future. "What if it's broken?" he asked. "What if I can't make it across?" Night after night, the anxiety grew. But when the day came, He arrived and saw that the bridge was strong and whole. All those restless nights had prepared him for a problem that never existed. This is the burden of imagined obstacles. How much of your suffering today is based on a fear that may never come true? Ask yourself, am I imagining problems that don't exist yet? If the answer is yes, it's time to let your thoughts float instead of sink. Simplify. Your mind is not your enemy, but it does need guidance. The feather doesn't resist the water, and yet it stays afloat. That's the wisdom of trust. That's the softness of letting go. In daily life, this means making decisions from calm, not chaos. Before you act, pause. Before you speak, breathe. Let intuition, not impulse, be your compass. When your thoughts are light, your energy becomes magnetic. People feel it. The universe responds to it. You begin to attract not from desperation, but from grace. This lightness is also a form of discipline. It's the choice to stop feeding the loop of fear and instead nourish the moment you're in. Whether you're sitting in traffic, waiting for a call, or navigating uncertainty, can you float instead of sink? Can you choose presence over panic? Lightness doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care enough to stay sane, centered, and open. You're not here to force outcomes. You're here to align, to flow, to release the mental clutter that clouds your inner wisdom. So today, let this be your practice. Think lightly. Choose one thought to let go of, one worry to release, one moment to trust. Because when your mind stops wrestling with the future, your heart begins to receive what it's always deserved: peace. Float like the feather. Trust like the river. Let calm carry you to everything you seek. 9. Wait for the bloom like a lotus in mud. In muddy waters, where light struggles to reach and nothing seems to move, the lotus begins its quiet journey. It doesn't rush to bloom. It doesn't curse the darkness. It simply grows, one patient inch at a time. Your life is no different. Right now, you may feel stuck, waiting for something to finally shift. Maybe it's clarity about your path. Maybe it's healing. Maybe it's just a moment of stillness after years of chaos. But what if this moment, this muddy season, is not a punishment, but preparation? Buddhism reminds us that growth happens beneath the surface. What looks like delay is often sacred development. You cannot see the roots stretching, strengthening. You cannot see the inner unfolding, but it's happening. No matter how hard the past, you can always begin again. The lotus teaches us this truth. Peace does not require perfect conditions. It grows from patience, from presence, from the willingness to bloom in your own time. But here's the struggle. We're trained to rush. Society rewards speed, success, results. So we panic when things take time. We doubt our path. We question our worth. But urgency is not alignment. It's anxiety dressed as ambition. Every time you try to dig up the seed to see if it's growing, you interrupt the very process that's trying to bless you. Ask yourself, can I be still and let the answer come in its own time? Can you let the soil do its work without forcing the bloom? This is not passivity. This is trust. There's a quiet strength in those who wait with wisdom. When you stop demanding instant results, you make space for real transformation. The kind that lasts, the kind that changes you from within. Peace isn't found in having all the answers. It's found in your ability to breathe even when the answers aren't clear. It's found in your ability to stay with discomfort, with uncertainty, with the sacred not yet. So many burned out souls are not tired from doing too much. They're tired from fighting what is, from trying to accelerate seasons that are meant to unfold slowly, from comparing their muddy middle to someone else's full bloom. But the lotus doesn't compare. It simply rises when it's time. So should you. Each day you wait with grace, you're building invisible strength. Each moment you choose patience over panic, you align deeper with the universe. Trust that when the soil is ready, the seed knows when to rise. And when you rise, because you will, it won't be with the frantic energy of someone trying to prove their worth. It will be with the calm knowing of someone who has become their worth. Let this be your reminder. Delays are not denials. They're invitations to rest, to realign, to return to yourself. The universe isn't punishing you, it's preparing you, preparing the conditions, the timing, the clarity, the peace, the right moment. So breathe, stay grounded in your muddy soil, and wait. Not with frustration, but with faith, because peace, like the lotus, blooms for those who trust the mud. 10. Let action flow from inner peace, not panic. Imagine a candle burning steadily in a quiet room, untouched by any breeze. Its flame is calm, unwavering, and bright. Not because it fights against the wind, but because the environment around it is still. This steady flame mirrors how your actions should arise, not from panic, stress, or desperation, but from a deep well of inner peace. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to mistake busyness for productivity and chaos for progress. Yet, Buddhism teaches us that true power comes when our doing flows naturally from our being. Think about the last time you acted out of panic, the rushed emails, the decisions made under pressure, the scattered thoughts pushing you forward. Did those actions bring you closer to what you truly desired? Or did they leave you feeling more exhausted, more disconnected? The wisdom here is clear. Inspired action is born from stillness. The moment you settle into yourself, quiet your mind, and find calm, your choices gain clarity and strength. Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. When you root yourself in the now, your actions aren't reactionary. They are intentional. This principle is especially important for those who feel burned out or overwhelmed, people struggling with career shifts, identity crises, or emotional turbulence. The pressure to keep moving, keep hustling, can be overwhelming. But what if the secret isn't to do more, but to do better? What if the key to breaking through your challenges lies not in frantic energy, but in calm focus? When you act from calm wisdom rather than chaotic reaction, your impact multiplies. Your energy stretches further because it's not wasted on needless struggle. Ask yourself, am I doing this from calm wisdom or chaotic reaction? The answer to this question can transform your approach to work, relationships, and life itself. If you notice agitation, impatience, or anxiety creeping in, pause. Take a breath. Center yourself. Remember that peace isn't a reward for finishing everything on your to-do list. It's the foundation for meaningful, lasting action. When your inner self is undisturbed, your outer world aligns with more ease than you imagined possible. This isn't about passivity or inaction. It's about letting your doing arise naturally from your being. Imagine a river flowing smoothly because it follows its course, not because it fights the banks. Your actions can flow that way too, steady, purposeful, and full of grace. In moments of stillness, inspiration will come. You'll see the path more clearly. You'll move with precision, not panic. Let this idea sink in. When your mind is calm, your actions burn longer and brighter, like that candle in the still room. Instead of flickering and sputtering from wind and distraction, your flame stays strong. This steadiness allows you to weather challenges, to persist without burnout, and to attract the outcomes you truly deserve. You become a force of nature, not a frantic storm, but a steady light. So next time you feel pressure to act, pause and ask, "Am I centered?" Then let your next move arise from that calm space. Make peace your baseline before you move forward. Your true power is found not in hurried doing, but in mindful being. When you master this, the universe will deliver what you deserve, not because you forced it, but because you allowed it to flow naturally to you. 11. Let life happen. Like clouds drift across the sky. There's a certain magic in watching clouds drift lazily across the sky. They don't cling to any spot, nor do they fight the wind that guides them. They simply move, changing shape, shifting colors, yet always flowing forward. Your emotions and thoughts are much the same. They arise, linger for a while, and then they pass. Yet, so often, we resist this natural flow. We clutch tightly to feelings, situations, or worries as if they were permanent fixtures, desperate to hold on to what is inherently temporary. This resistance breeds suffering, anxiety, and burnout. But Buddhism reminds us, whatever has the nature to arise will also pass away. Non-resistance, the art of letting life happen like clouds in the sky, is the master key to calm. Imagine a burned-out professional, overwhelmed by relentless deadlines and constant change. They feel trapped in an unending storm of responsibilities, identity shifts, and self-doubt. What if instead of battling the storm, they learn to release their grip and simply drift with the wind? Not surrender in defeat, but in wise acceptance, knowing that the chaos is temporary and will pass, just like clouds crossing a vast sky. Life becomes peaceful not by forcing control, but by embracing impermanence. When you stop fighting what is fleeting, space opens for calm, clarity, and new opportunities. Ask yourself, what temporary situation am I clinging to as if it's permanent? Maybe it's a failing project, a painful emotion, or a fear of an uncertain future. Holding on to these only tightens your suffering. Instead, practice the mantra, "This too shall pass." Repeat it when anxiety flares or when your mind replays doubts and frustrations. This simple phrase becomes a gentle reminder that nothing is fixed and everything is in motion. It softens the grip of resistance, allowing your inner sky to clear. This wisdom is particularly relevant for those navigating career crossroads, emotional transitions, or the heavy expectations society piles on. The pressure to figure it all out immediately or to maintain a perfect image can be suffocating. Yet the universe teaches us patience and trust through impermanence. Like clouds, our lives are constantly shifting. Clinging only dims the brilliance of what is possible next. When you learn to let go of clinging, you invite peace and allow the universe to deliver what you truly deserve in its own perfect timing. Practice watching your thoughts and feelings come and go without labeling them as good or bad. They are like clouds, sometimes dark and stormy, sometimes light and airy, but never permanent. Through meditation or simple moments of mindful breathing, cultivate the ability to observe without attachment. This creates space within you where calm lives. From this space, you can respond to life with wisdom rather than react from fear. The power of non-resistance is not in passivity. It is in deep acceptance and courageous flow. Life's storms don't last forever, and your mind doesn't have to be the battleground. By letting life happen, like clouds drifting across the sky, you align yourself with the natural rhythm of existence. You become less burdened by the weight of control and more connected to the unfolding of your true path. So, when the next wave of stress, doubt, or fear arrives, remember the clouds. Let your emotions and thoughts pass without grasping or pushing them away. Trust that, like the clouds, they will move on, and clearer skies await. When you embrace this, you create room for the universe to bring you what you truly deserve, not by force, but by calm, steady flow. Bonus lesson: live as if you already trust the universe. There's a moment in life when you realize that waiting for certainty is waiting forever. Like a bird perched on a branch, hesitation holds it back, but faith pushes it to leap without checking the wind. This is the essence of trusting the universe, not just hoping or wishing, but living as if you already trust that you'll be caught, supported, and guided. Burned out professionals, those struggling through identity shifts or recovering from emotional turmoil, often carry the heavy weight of doubt and fear. But what if the courage to leap could come from living each day as if everything is already working out in your favor? This faith is not blind. It's a quiet knowing rooted in your very being, a calm trust that you don't have to control every outcome. Instead, you discover your world with curiosity and give yourself fully to the process, just as Buddhism teaches. Your work is to discover your world and then, with all your heart, give yourself to it. Imagine making decisions from a place of abundance, not scarcity, from belief in perfect timing, not panic or lack. How differently would you approach your career struggles, your emotional recovery, or your restless mind? Would you push less and breathe more? Ask yourself, what would I do today if I believed everything was working out for me? Picture stepping into your day with this unshakable faith, sending out energy of calm assurance instead of chaotic fear. The universe responds not to frantic words, but to the vibration you emit. Like a compass needle finding true north when undisturbed, your inner self aligns when still and centered. Trusting the process doesn't mean passivity. It means acting from a place of peace, knowing that you are supported even when the path isn't clear. You might hesitate, feeling the urge to control, to force things into place. But remember, like the river that flows without seeing the ocean, faith grows stronger when you let go of the need to see every outcome. You don't have to carry every burden alone. Let your actions flow from inner peace, not panic. The candle burns longer when sheltered from the wind. Your impact is greater when your soul remains steady amid chaos. Living as if you already trust the universe rewires your relationship with fear and uncertainty. It teaches you to observe your thoughts like a still lake watches the moon, reflecting without distortion, without drowning in storms of worry. When you watch your mind with gentle awareness, you weaken the power of anxious thoughts. They lose their grip. You become the calm in the center, the silent thunder that echoes strength without noise. This shift creates space for miracles. Like bamboo that bends but never breaks, detachment allows abundance to flow freely. When you stop clinging to what's not meant for you, peace takes root. The universe begins to deliver what you deserve, not because you chase it, but because you make room for it by trusting and letting go. So take that leap of faith today. Live as if you already trust that the winds of life will carry you safely. This trust is your secret power, your steady compass. It transforms overwhelm into calm, chaos into clarity. And when you embody this trust, you find yourself moving with life, not against it, inviting the universe to bring forth the opportunities, peace, and growth that have been waiting for you all along. Quick summary of the principles. Let go like the sky. Releases the storm. True power lies in surrender, not control. When you release the need to manipulate outcomes, life begins to flow effortlessly. Let go of resistance, and trust the natural unfolding of events. Peace follows those who stop grasping. Observe your mind like a still lake. Watch as the moon. Inner calm begins with awareness, not reaction. Instead of being controlled by your thoughts, become the silent witness behind them. This shift frees you from anxiety and mental chaos. Observation is liberation. Align your energy. Like a compass finds north. The universe responds to your vibration, not your demands. When you're calm and aligned, life mirrors your inner peace. Stay centered and uplifted. Energy doesn't lie. Manifestation begins with emotional alignment. Trust the river. Even when you can't see the ocean, you don't need to know how everything will unfold. Just take the next step with faith. The unseen forces of life often guide you better than your plans. Surrender the outcome and allow the process to carry you. Be empty like the bamboo to be filled by the wind. Detach from outcomes, people, and emotional clutter. When you release inner noise, space is created for clarity and blessings to flow in. Detachment is not indifference, it's inner freedom. Let stillness be your thunder. Stillness is the source of wisdom, power, and inspired action. When you cultivate inner quiet, you no longer chase life, life comes to you. Create space for clarity by being silent and present. Heal the inner mirror to reflect a brighter world. Your life is a reflection of your internal beliefs. Heal the wounds, shift your thoughts, and your external world transforms. Self-love and awareness are the foundation of all positive change. Think lightly. Like a feather rests on water. Overthinking blocks peace and potential. Simplify your thoughts, loosen mental grip, and allow yourself to move with lightness. Let your mind be a space of calm rather than control. Wait for the bloom, like a lotus in mud. Growth and peace take time. Stop rushing the process and embrace the waiting. Every pause, delay, or setback is a part of your unfolding. Patience is faith in disguise. Let action flow from inner peace, not panic. Don't act from chaos, act from clarity. When your intentions are born from calm, your actions hold more power. Stop reacting and start responding from a grounded state. Let life happen. Like clouds drift across the sky. You don't need to resist what's temporary. Emotions and events pass like weather. Let them. Non-resistance leads to peace and adaptability. Calm is choosing not to struggle with life. Live as if you already trust the universe. Act with the faith that everything is aligning in your favor. Your belief creates your reality. When you live with trust, you unlock a magnetic field of possibility around you. Take control of your life, not by forcing it, but by surrendering to its deeper flow. We spend too much time chasing, doubting, and resisting what already wants to come our way. True control is calm. True power is presence. The moment you let go of needing to have it all figured out, you begin to experience the magic of the present moment. What you seek is often waiting behind your mental noise. As long as your mind is filled with fear, overthinking, and anxiety, the universe cannot deliver. It's like knocking on a door while shouting so loudly that you can't hear it open. The quieter your mind, the louder the universe speaks. Let go of the pressure and let peace be your new direction. Zen teaches that when you drop the need to chase, you arrive. Life doesn't require your perfection, it requires your presence. You don't need to fix everything. You need to see clearly, feel calmly, and act wisely. The rest will take care of itself. Trust that life is wiser than your plans and kinder than your fears. Each of these 12 principles isn't just a thought, it's a practice. a new way of breathing, thinking, trusting, and responding. The universe works on frequency. Your calm is not weakness, it's alignment. Your surrender is not quitting, it's stepping into higher guidance. When you realize nothing is lacking, the whole world belongs to you. If these principles spoke to your soul, like and share this video and drop your thoughts in the comment box below. Subscribe to Deep Wisdom for more powerful Buddhist insights on living a truly peaceful, powerful life.